Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about this. It's going to be a product kind of first look, unboxing kind of review, and I hope you guys are excited. This is a company that contacted me. Get a few of them now, which is kind of cool. They are a company called Cyelee, C-Y-E-L-L-E-E, Cyelee Optics. They actually do a lot of different sites. I'd never heard of them before. They do sell on Amazon, but they emailed me and they said, hey, would you like us to send you one of these? It would be great if you could do a review for us, just have a look at it and let us know your thoughts. So that's the full disclosure. I have been sent this for free. I haven't paid for it. However, they did say in the email, we want an honest review. So I went onto Amazon, looked at it, and I thought, you know what? It's only got, I think, 25 reviews, but all of them are like 4.5, 5 stars. So it seems like it's worth kind of looking at, and especially for Airsoft, where a lot of people don't want to spend a huge amount of money, but they do want the performance. I thought this could be quite something that's quite interesting just to talk through. So what I'm going to do is basically talk through this, open it up, show you what it looks like, and then I'm actually going to compare it to my Trijicon SRO. You may think, if you know what a Trijicon SRO is, you'll look at this and you're like, that is a very, very similar shape and size to a Trijicon SRO, which is what I thought when I saw it. So when I responded, I said, yeah, I'd love to try it out, and I'm gonna compare it to a Trijicon SRO, which is $700. This, on the other hand, is $199.94, so $200, which is still a lot of money, but there are definitely I find almost two camps. People that go repro, and that's normally the reproduction, and that's normally can get the trades on them, but the quality of the build is very, very low, and the performance normally isn't very good. Or you go full real steel, spend an insane amount of money, very unnecessary for what you're going to need in Airsoft, because you don't have the range or the accuracy that you would on a real steel firearm, but it looks cool, makes you feel cool. But then this actually, because it's a similar design, it's more expensive, and it looks like the performance on it should be better. Or not as good, but should be good performance compared to a repro, and it's kind of in that in-between price point. So I thought it's probably something that actually I would like more information on it, so I thought I'd have a look at it and kind of share that with you guys. So yeah, so it's a $200 optic. Other thing to mention before I open this and I keep talking is the memberships are going live again. I'm going to talk through those later in the video, but this is going to be one of the first giveaways for the membership. There's 2 tiers. This is going to be for the higher tier. Both have different giveaways that you can have, but a lot of the amazing products that I really like that I get to review, I'm going to be giving those away to members. So join now, go and have a look at the membership on the channel, because this will start next week. The first giveaways will be next week. Right now I am on February 10th, so as of February 17th, that is when I'm going to be starting to give away stuff to members. I'm going to run through this later, but just so you're aware, keep watching, because this could be yours if you become a member of the channel. Okay, so we're going to unbox it. What comes inside? Patch. I'm not a big patch guy, but I'll keep it to one side because someone else might want that patch. Sticker. Again, I'm not a big sticker guy, although I have been putting some stickers down on here, so maybe I'll give Cyelee a little space on here if I like what the product does. Here is just an instructions card, which I think is quite good. It's actually there, just gives kind of like an information on issues with your optic losing 0. So presumably, and there's wanting assistance. So a couple of websites, looks like they've actually got some stuff to show you. A little instruction card on zeroing. And then I think that is their... What is this? This is just a list of what it is. Battery install, switch on, switch off. Another little instruction booklet. So lots of instructions. Packaging's good. I mean, it's a solid box. It's definitely not as pretty as you would say as like, you know, your Tokyo Marui. They asked me if I wanted to go green dot or red dot, so I decided to go with green because I've got other red dots and I know green is better in daylight. Cleaning cloth, always good to have those. Then we have some hardware. So I've got quite a few screws in there, which I think is great. In terms of what they say it mounts to RMR footprint, and then I think it actually does 407C and 507C. So presumably there's different screws here which will make it fit onto different things. So I really like the RMR footprint. It's what my Trijicon fits onto. So hopefully that's going to be an easy comparison. I'm going to be putting it on, oh, there goes my mag. I'm going to be putting it on this because actually I had a red dot on here previously and I removed it, and it's got a plate, it's got a gap for a plate there which I can put it onto. So I'm going to see if it fits on this. This is the EMG SAI Salient Arms kind of Glock 19. This is like a $180 pistol. Don't really use it, but I thought actually this looks very strange just with 2 screws sticking out. So I may not need to use these screws, but that is the amount of screws they give you. They've got labels on all of them, which is great. So you're not looking around having to buy more screws. So I might try it with what's there. If not, I'm gonna get onto that. More screws. I think that's almost like a whole nother set of the same one. So tons of screws, Allen keys, 2 of those, and then the actual sight itself. So as you can see in the packaging, it definitely looks like a Trijicon SRO in the shape. This is called their Chameleon G-SRS8 is the version. I think this is one of their newer ones, and it's one of their more expensive ones. And again, I lose you guys on the old camera. And we're back. I'm back. Okay, so what I really like on this is the window size. Like I've had red dots before, which I just really don't like. I thought I'd love them because I love the way they look, but the reason I didn't like them is because actually finding the red dot is really hard. Like you raise up the pistol, and if you haven't got a window that's big enough, if you're really good at shooting, you'll find it very quickly. But if not, you will find your adjustments need to be so slight just to find that red dot. And so I'm a big fan of big windows, which is why the Trijicon SRO is my favorite red dot sight. Like it is very, very expensive, but it is my favorite. And so therefore I've ended up spending that money to get them. I do, though, also have to put a cover on it because I'm very, very worried it's going to get shot out. So build quality, it feels sturdy. It's kind of like a fully molded front zone there. So there's no kind of differential between the actual lens and the lower body. So that's kind of like a solid rim around there. And it does look like that would protect the actual... I don't really want to drop it before we use it, but that does look like it would protect the lens from that. Of course, I could do a BB shooting test and see if it would stand up to a BB. I very much doubt it would do. There are, if you go on JK Army, you can get little covers here that go onto the Trijicon SRO. I expect it's going to fit the same. I will actually test that later in the video. But the large window is awesome. And then definitely, I've had issues with the Repro SROs where it loses the red dot sight around the edges. So we'll see if that does that on this one. So the large sight window I absolutely love. So it's apparently got the deactivation standby. So apparently after 5 minutes of this not being used or being still, it's going to deactivate and save battery. After that, it's got a shake awake, which I think is also great. You're not going to find that on a Repro where you actually can move it and then it's actually just going to turn back on again, which is great. And I think it's 50,000 hours of battery life. So that's pretty great as well. I'm trying to think what that is in months and years, but I haven't got the math in my head to do that. The branding on the side of it, it's got the brand, like the actual Cyelee logo. It's obviously not a known brand, so if you're a real steel kind of milsim guy, you may not like that as much as kind of one that's fake got Trijicon on there. It might be worthwhile you having the Repro instead if you like that reason. And then it's got the actual model name there. And then obviously you've got your adjustments right and up and down right there. So yeah, and then it's got the little cover, same position again as the SRO for that. What I'm actually going to do quickly is it's got a lock mode as well. So I don't know how to do that. I need to look at the instructions on how to do that, but apparently you can lock it so that the buttons don't get hit. Buttons are on the side here. That one there, and then up and down on either side. So let's just make sure. Oh, this does have a battery in it. So I'll give you like a little look through it first off. So to be honest, I think this is going to be so much better than my Repro. So I've got a green dot. What I always notice on my Repro is it gets the edge of the actual lens. That's where it distorts and it just becomes like not really a dot. You can see here on this one, it stays as a dot the entire time. Yeah, guys, I can already see that I like this a lot. So if you want to just kind of watch the rest of the video, great. But I do think whichever member gets this is going to be very happy, because this actually works really, really well. It's a green dot. I can keep both my eyes open very easily. I can see it very easily. And for $200, I think this is going to be a great one. Okay, moving on. I need to not make assumptions before I do it. Okay, so we'll give it a little compare to the actual Trijicon. My real one is here, and I actually have a fake one on here. So I'll show you here. This is the real one that I have. As you can see, it's a very, very similar design. It's got a lot bigger buttons on the right and the left, the up and the down. It's got kind of like little clicks that just show here. So you can kind of see that more. It's got like a pattern thing on. You can see here, this is a lens cover, and I'm going to take that off. But you can find these, they basically go onto that shape lens. But you can see there, the actual Trijicon has more of a kind of reddish tint to it. I'll put this one on so you can see. This is what this, I'll take the mag out of this. This is what this one looks like, which is the, sorry, let's go there. Yep, so you can see that, the red dot. I can turn that up slightly, but as you can see, like, it stays good to the edge of the window. Like that red dot, wherever you're looking at it, is staying great wherever it is on there. Let's look at the fake one. So the fake one doesn't allow me just to hold down the button and turn it on. I have to slow and increment it. Again, let's take the mag out. This is the fake one. So you can get these, and this has got more of that reddish tint on there. It's got fake Trijicon written on the side, not like the real one. The real one is kind of like blacked out, more kind of plasticky looking. This is your, I'll show you side by side, the fake and the real. There we go. So fake one is with the white writing, real one is the black. So they look a lot more similar, these, that actually kind of like almost the same design, but it's like you can definitely tell a big difference between the two. So this is the red dot on here. So let me just get it for you. Where are we? There. So as you can see, when I get that to the edge of the lens, I get this, I'm so bad with this. Okay, as I can get this to the edge of the lens, you can see it starts to distort. So that red dot goes kind of like into a little bar as opposed to being a red dot. Try and get this. This is so hard to do when you're like looking at the camera. So I don't know if you can see that there, but it's almost like a little, it kind of turns and it kind of blurs out. So when I use this one, I can 100% tell that this is fake. Like the entire side of it just goes, try and get it closer. I go here. It is so hard for me to do this. Yeah, so I can't really show you guys, unfortunately, just because I'm not very good at actually doing it. But anyway, you have to trust me, because it's very, very obvious which one is real and which one's fake. And then to turn this one off, I just have to kind of keep pushing it down. This one, compared to the Cyelee, you can see here it's a very similar design, not quite the same. The Cyelee is actually smaller. So the window size on these is comparable, but it's definitely a smaller window, I think, on the Cyelee than it is on the, or it's almost wider and not as tall, but very, very similar. If I give you that, guys, side by side, very similar. So will the actual little lens protector fit on there? That's a good question. Yeah, so that fits on there, great. So actually, if you want to not lose $200 and get this thing shot out, you can just stick that in there. It's so much easier moving this thing around rather than moving around a gun on the top of it. Like, you can actually see the thing there. Okay, so that is, again, it's a definite win. As I said, these cost about $70, so you can get them for cheaper than you're going to get the Cyelee for. But when I look at this and I look at this, I think the Trijicon is more like sturdy. It's going to be kind of more like rubberized-ish metal. And I think that's probably going to hit things and bounce off a bit easier. But it is 3 3.5 times the price, so that's quite a big difference. Okay, so we're going to do a side-by-side. Yep, size-wise is nearly identical. $700 to $200, as I said. Battery life for the Trijicon is 3 years at setting 4. So I don't know if that is, it's 50,000 hours to 3 years. So I don't know what the comparison is there. If you know, put it in the comments below. I can't be bothered to work that out in my head right now, or I can't do that. The SRO comes in different reticle sizes, the 1, the 2.5, and the 5. So that is the 5 that I have, because on a pistol I always think you kind of just want a bigger red dot. It's not going to be as accurate as you are shooting at longer ranges with a real steel, like primary weapon, an assault rifle, anything that is actually more rifle, longer barrel, etc. And this one is an 8 MOA, so this dot size is bigger. I don't think that's a big deal, especially for Airsoft, but that's just something 5 to 8. You know, it's going to be slightly bigger actual green dot, not a red dot. The construction on the Trijicon is aluminium to 10 feet, aluminium and waterproof to 10 feet. The Cyelee is not waterproof rating tested. This one as well, if you've got astigmatism, this actually has got the relief on it. So again, if you've got that, then that's not going to happen on a repro. So if you want to spend a couple of $100 and actually have that, then that is, yeah, that's probably a big selling point for this one. So it's the same footprint as on an RMR, so you can swatch between the two. I'm actually just going to put this one on this in a second. Dot size is 8 to 5, so you know it's easier to pick up in your sight, but it's actually like covers a bigger target area. Battery access is the same. They don't actually give you a battery with this one, it doesn't seem. So the battery's already in there. They don't give you a separate one, so that's great. I wouldn't expect them to give you 2, but that is that's already in there. If you're wondering where is the battery, because I would have probably thought, I think Trijicon send them separately, so that would be something that I think is different. Okay, so I'm going to take these off and we're going to install it as I just talk through. Adjustments and controls, I think they're pretty similar. You know, it's like you get a lot bigger buttons for the Trijicon, which maybe is an advantage if you're wearing gloves. You know, it's kind of like you can kind of reach and feel and touch it a lot easier. Okay, let's have a look what this looks like. Okay, so that goes on there pretty perfectly. The actual screws line up. So I'm just going to try these screws because these are the ones I had before, and I think I did have like a Trijicon repro on here previously. So that hopefully is a good comparison. Yeah, so that fits really nicely. I don't want to over tighten these because I'm going to give it away, so I don't want to damage it. There are other things you guys want to win as well well not win, but having the giveaways. It'd be great to know. So that is what this looks like on this EMG SAI, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely a very easy reticle to pick up with your eye. Like it's as easy for sure as the SRO. So, I mean, like, if you don't want to have the SRO looks, I think for Airsoft this is going to work great, just from the kind of, like, performance-wise. We'll obviously see if it stays good, actually, when it's recoiling, which I will show you that as well. In fact, we might as well do that now. So, that's going to be... Let me just make sure we got nothing in this. Nothing inside. Okay, so this is going to be the recoil. Yeah, that's solid. So, I mean, that's only going to be a few shots on there, but it definitely, it's not moving around. Yeah, that seems good. Okay, so should we drop it? No, I'm not going to drop it. I could do a drop test. I think that's something they said I could do, but I kind of think if I'm going to give it to someone, having it dropped, I mean, it'd be cool. I could sign it after dropping it. That probably wouldn't be great. Okay, so Trijicon's definitely battle tested. Like a lot of real steel forces use it, so you know you kind of know that it's going to be in that way. But again, we're not playing with an airsoft gun, real steel, so it's, you know, it could be as performance wise, but who knows? You know, with Trijicon you have a brand you're going to know. With this, it's a bit more unknown. Shake Awake I think is great because my Repro Trijicon does not have that. And actually just forgetting to turn off the sight when you leave the actual airsoft field is a big thing that I forget to do. I remember a day later and I'm like, oh, I forgot to actually turn that sight off, and it's drained the battery. So the Shake Awake I'm a big fan of. I have it actually on one of my Trijicon XM5, which I never really have had it before or used it, and I absolutely love that because it's like it's so much less stress having to think about that than it is you know, turning it on and off constantly. So not waterproof, but it does it, you know, again, are you going to take it underwater playing airsoft? Maybe, but that, again, don't think many sites are going to be waterproof other than the ones you're paying a huge amount of money for. Okay, so it's Trigicon's always on unless it's manually turned off. The Trigicon's got 10 brightness settings. The Cyelee has multiple levels but fewer adjustments. The crispness of the dot, the Trijicon is supposed to be probably a bit sharper. The Cyeelee's 8 MOA is good for, I mean, it's not a huge difference, I wouldn't say. Like, I kind of want to give you guys this one. Why am I so bad at this? What if I do that? Okay, so there you can see the red dot there, and you can see the green dot there. Red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot. So you see the green's like, it's actually just losing focus there, so it looks like it's, there you go. Green, red dot, green dot. So that's probably a good direct comparison. I don't notice a huge amount of difference between the two, to be honest. It's just more pinpoint, like the actual Trijicon, just because it's so much like smaller, that 5 MOA, just more pinpoint. Okay, so the final thoughts for $199, I think it's pretty good. I think you can probably look at some Holosuns that will be cheaper than a Trijicon, but you're probably gonna have to spend close to the same amount, probably the same amount of money, if not more. And I don't know if you're gonna have a window as big as that. I don't have any actual pistol red dots that I like from Holosun. Again, Trijicon SRO is my go-to. So for the money, I think it's pretty good. From performance, from what I've seen so far, it's pretty good. And you know, it's gonna be, I think, great for an airsoft gun. I haven't obviously tested this on a real steel. I don't have an actual plate to mount on my real steel, so I can't really test it on that. The saving of the battery life, I think, is amazing. Absolutely love that. It is comparable to the SRO, which is pretty crazy considering you can get 3.5 of those for the same price. So, you know, it is great for airsoft. CQB, definitely with that 8 MOA, and you can get it in green and red, which I think is great. Green, just as a bit different for me, was kind of cool to have. So I do think it's, for your casual user, it's cool. Some people might have an issue just with the branding on it, but you know, that's person by person. I don't particularly, unless I probably would if I'm running it on that, my kind of Glock that I've already tuned up. If I'm running it on something that's a bit different, I don't see any issue with that at all. It does sit maybe a bit more upright. You just give me that. Look, it's kind of like a little bit more, kind of like, you see what I mean? It's just a little bit more like narrow, whereas this has got that slope a bit. So that's another thing. This is like a straight down. So that is something that's different. But I don't know, that might give you kind of a better angle on seeing it from across. So solid big build. The dot is great, even to the edges, which would be my big thing. That's where I was like, if it doesn't go to the edges, I'm not going to like it. So I think it's good value. Cons, it's not quite as crisp as the Trijicon. So that's something, if you're really wanting that kind of crisp feel, or you're thinking about real steel, both of them, you might want to think about that. No waterproof rating, and it's got less brightness adjustments. Apparently they also have 2 night vision modes, both of them. So that's kind of where they're similar on that. I would expect night vision on the Trijicon to be better for the price it is. So for SRO, real steel, for the Cyelee, I think you could do real steel, depending on what you're wanting to spend and if you test it. But I think for Airsoft, this is great. Like, I definitely approve that for sure. Okay, so just to go through lastly, guys, this is going to be part of the members giveaway. You're going to get a $200 site. Whoever is in the actual members channel, it's the higher tier, which I think is about $5 a month. You're going to get a ton of other stuff that's listed in there, but we're going to have at least once a month a giveaway that is going to be giving away probably at least one item of this value, if not 3 or 4, depending on how many actual items I've reviewed that month, and I'll be giving that away every single time. So if you would like to win this, that would be great. If you could support the channel, go and join the membership. There is a lower tier as well, which will be more kind of like gear, bits and pieces, some patches. So again, there'll be giveaways for that, but it won't quite be the same price point as kind of what I'm giving away with this stuff. So you're going to get other perks, which is exclusive content. I'm going to do early access to videos, so I'm going to post the videos and you guys can see those before. You can also have direct Q&As. We're going to have 2 different Discord servers for each membership level, so you can actually ask me direct questions there and I'll come back to you. We're going to have the monthly giveaways, obviously, which includes this Optic. And so please do, if you are interested, I would really love to grow the community more and would allow me just to get some more stuff to review for you guys. So please do sign up and become a member. So that is my review, my kind of oversight of this. The Cyelee site is the Chameleon G-SRS8 series. Go and check that out. And yeah, I'd say if you want to spend $200 and get a good site, from my testing so far, it's a good one. All right, guys, see you soon. Bye-bye.